Hello, second graders. Today we're going to be reading Think of an Eel. This book is by Wallace and it's illustrated by Mike Bostock. This book is about an eel. It's tiny, glassy, and it slips from its egg and slides into the ocean. It's a narrative nonfiction text, so sometimes we can hear the author give rhyming words, and the author is giving true information, but kind of like a story. So it sounds more like a story than it does nonfiction. So it might confuse you sometimes. So here we go. Let's get started. The author uses beautiful, colorful pictures to illustrate and to show life of an eel. Here we go. Think of an Eel by Wallace, illustrated by Mike Bostock. Think of an eel. He swims like a fish. He slides like a snake. There's a warm, weedy sea to the south of Bermuda. It's called the Sargasso. No wind ever blows there. No sailing ships sail there. For thousands of years, there a secret lay hidden. This salt, soupy sea is where eels are born. Deep down where it's blackest, eel egg becomes eel. He looks like a willow leaf, clear as a crystal. Here the author gives more information. Baby eels are born in the early spring. A real one is only about this big. So the author shows you that a real eel is very, very small when it's born. And you can see that its body looks almost see-through. And that means that you can see seaweed through it. And you can see all the other things that are floating in the ocean through its body. His fierce jutting mouth has teeth like a saw blade. He eats like a horse and swims up through the water. Young eels from the Sargasso travel either to Europe or to America, whichever their parents did before them. Imagine this eel leaf and millions just like him, swimming on waves across the wide sea. Some are unlucky. The seagulls are waiting. Beaks snap like scissors through wriggling water. So here we can learn a predator of eels. Remember, a predator means an animal that eats another animal, and so the seagulls are after the baby eels. Eel swims for 3 years till he reaches the shore. But the river's too cold. There's still snow on the mountains. So he waits in the water, turns into an elver. Now he looks like a shoelace made out of glass. So the eel is changing. At first, he was an egg, and then he was a leaf-like eel here. And now he looks almost like a shoelace. So he's a little bit longer now, but he's still clear, so that means that you can see through him. So you can see the starfish in the background they're showing you. You can see the starfish through him. When spring warms the shoreline, the smell of fresh water excites the glass elver. Into the river he swims like a mad thing. He wriggles up the rapids, climbs rocks, around waterfalls. Riverbanks guide him. Nothing will stop him. So here's our eel moving and going up the waterfall. Eels navigate by instinct. So that means how they remember and thinking back to what their parents did. And so their parents may not be there, but it's a way that their brain works. It's their instinct. They always seem to know where they are going. So even though they haven't been there before, they know where they're going. Around a drowned oak stump, through twisting green weeds, a mud hole is hidden. Mud holes, burrows, and cracks in the riverbed are all homes for eels. So you can see this is a little caption that the author is giving us for this picture here, showing the mud hole. Eel knows without thinking it's what he's been seeking. He slips through the ooze. This hole is his home. So he's found the place that he would like to be his home. Think of an eel. After years in the river, he's slit-eyed and slimy and thick like a snake. He gulps stickleback eggs, eats shrimp and small fishes. So here we have the eel coming up out of the water a little bit to get some food. And you can see here is a caption that says shrimp. And here it says, eels feed mostly at night. And so they eat at nighttime. If the river is empty, he swims from the mud hole, slips through the grass to steal snails from the pond. So here we see a pond snail. An eel can live out of water for only 2 days or longer. If the ground is wet, breathing through its slimy skin. And so here you can see the eel can get out of water for up to 2 days, maybe a little longer, as long as the ground is a little wet. One day, eel stops eating. His stomach is shrinking. His long, winding body turns silver and black. Shrinking means to get smaller. Eyes like black currants bulge into headlights. Now for the last time, eel slides from the mud hole. His years in the river are over forever. So eel has lived in the ocean, and his time is coming to an end. You can see that eel has changed even more. He's got a black and white body, or black and silver, and his eyes look different too. Silver eel waits for a night that is moonless, when the rain from the mountains has flooded the stream. Silver eel usually leave the river in September or October, so right around now. While they're waiting for a dark night, they sometimes get tangled up in a ball. Then he slips down the river, down to the seashore. The time has arrived for his long journey home. So his home is changing. Just like he has changed, the way that he's looked has changed. For 80 days, silver eel swims through the ocean, squirms like a secret from seabird and sailor. There are millions just like him, deep down in the water, swimming silently back to the Sargasso Sea. So they're going back to the first place that they lived, the Sargasso Sea. Eels have big eyes for seeing in the dark. So the author gives you another caption here to tell you more about the picture. There's eel tomb and eel cradle in the weedy Sargasso. After 80 days swimming, not eating, not sleeping, eel's long winding body is worn out and wasted. He spills the new life carried deep in his belly, then sinks through the sea like a used silver wrapper. The male eel's sperm fertilizes the female's eggs in the water. And so here we can see our eel falling down the water. Deep down where it's blackest, eel egg becomes eel. He looks like a willow leaf, clear as a crystal. His fierce jutting mouth has teeth like a saw blade. He eats like a horse and swims up through the water. Imagine this eel leaf and millions just like him swimming on waves across the wide sea. So it's back to an eel leaf. So our life cycle, we started as an egg and moved to an eel leaf and an elver, and it continues to grow into an adult eel. And then it spawns, which means it has babies. And here we are at the end where it shows the glass eel, the eel leaf, and the adult eel getting older and changing. So we can see the eel changing as it grows. You can see all of its stages of life. And that is the end. I hope you enjoyed Think of an Eel.